This woman needs no introduction, like absolutely none. She is classical bae. She is that girl. She just is coming off an incredible tour with the queen herself. And today we are so blessed and grateful to have Ezima on the podcast. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so pumped. I don't know that I can contain my excitement right now.
We got to see you on stage in Atlanta, and you absolutely crushed it.
Oh, thank you.
Being here and your energy in person, you're absolutely stunning, and we can't wait to hear and learn all the things.
Oh, thank you.
And like, while I may not be saying, like I said, the queen, like it was just everyone knew who that was. But when we say she just came off a tour, Ezima, Ezzy, just came off of the Cowboy Carter tour with Beyoncé. Can you just tell us about that experience? We'll touch that because then I want to get into like your whole story. But how was this experience?
Whew.
Well, and what do you do?
Oh, that might be helpful for everybody.
Yeah. So I'm a violinist. This is not my first time working with Beyonce. I've kind of been in her world now for 8 years, I would say. And I'm very grateful to have like been in her orbit. But basically my role in the show was to be like fiddler, because it's like a cowboy, country album. And I'll tell you more about my experience with fiddling when I tell you my story. But so I was fiddling, and then she had this really kind of epic classical moment in the middle of the show. And it was me and these two ballerinas, and we just performed this classical piece, and it was just really beautiful. And that kind of set up Daughter on her album, which features an Italian aria called Caro Mio Ben. And so I think she kind of wanted to subliminally highlight that sort of genre bending in Cowboy Carter that maybe not everyone was aware of. So she had this kind of like classical moment. So yeah, it was cool.
That was so beautiful.
It was great. But yeah, so that's what I did. Oh my gosh, touring, and especially with someone like her, where it is just everyone is expected and is at the top of their game. It just sharpens you. It just sharpens you in every way, shape, or form. Playing every other night, sometimes every night for like 70 to 90,000 people is something that I had never done before. The most I played for is 19,000. And of course, like, once you've done 19,000, it's like, what's the difference between 1950? It all just feels like a big crowd. But there's something about her fans where the energy is just so positive. And, I look into the audience and I'd see like a lot of little girls and stuff like that, especially little girls of color. And I don't know, I just felt like I really, in my own way, had some impact. And I was so happy and honored to be a part of this huge thing. But just to have my little moment to like, this is the violin, this is what it can do, this is me. I may not look like your normal violinist, but I'm here, I exist. And also just collectively, like we're here just telling this story that she is so meticulous and so authentic and so unapologetic about telling, like everything she does. Like she's just incredible.
Well, you were also incredible. And I don't want you to say like this little part because it was huge. Because when we came to, where we did night 3?
Yeah.
Night 3 in Atlanta, it was amazing. But I got to bring my daughter.
Oh.
And of course, like Beyonce fan through and through.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was 15 years old, like first row at a Beyonce concert, and Miss Tina told me I was pretty, and then from then on, nobody could tell me anything.
It's just a wrap, right?
Like I was
Miss
like,
Tina
nobody can tell me anything now. But from that moment to taking my daughter to this show, and like I grew up dancing, for instance, so like that moment was not small to me. Like it was so beautiful, and like I cried the whole dang show. But having my daughter next to me, I was like, mommy, I can't now. But mommy used to be able to do that. And then I'm like, and that woman talking about you, I'm like, that's a Black woman up there. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think something that's really powerful about that moment and about the tour and about even like Beyonce that we can talk about just for a quick moment when it comes to legacy is how those little pieces played such a big part in like a bigger story.
Yeah.
And even like you talk about like genre bending and like the whole reclamation of these different genres that she's done with Act 1 and Act 2 and things like that. I think it's so much more than that. And I think even when it comes to like, I think about classical music, this is probably my own unconscious bias. I don't think like people of color when I hear like I don't associate them immediately.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that is something that's been really, really beautiful about what I think the Cowboy Carter tour and the Renaissance tour have been able to do.
Yeah. Is I think just putting us in spaces and genres of music in which we've always been a part of, but we've just been overlooked or been erased for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just think it's just a testament to just like her, and not just the storytelling, but I mean, and especially like seeing her daughter Blue, I think there's so many just subliminal messages about motherhood as well.
Even the costuming.
Yeah, the costuming, just all of these little things that, because I saw it every night and I was just like there kind of, you know, witnessing everything and noticing the changes and noticing what things were shifting, what costumes were changing. It's just, she is such a mastermind. I still don't think she gets the credit she deserves. You know, and I'm just so honored to be in her world every time she asks. So it was also really cool because I had just gotten married on March 1st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was we got married in Jamaica. Ooh. And it's crazy because about a week and a half before the wedding, I was like getting my hair colored, and I get this email from her tour manager, and he's like, "You free?" I'm like, "That's it." Like, and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I'm going to give you a call." We hop on the phone. He's like, "She wants you to do this tour." And I was like, okay, well, let me finish getting this like dye off my scalp and like, let me leave the hair salon. And it just kind of unraveled really quickly. And again, it's like, she really sees people. Ooh. And she really pays attention to people. So for anyone who might be listening, you just don't know who's watching, which is why it's just so great to just keep pushing and just keep doing the best that you can, regardless if you feel like your views are low or nobody listens to your music or nobody pays attention, because someone always is. And I think that's just, I don't know, it's just so, I just feel so happy to have done the tour, and it's just was great.
So we're so happy for you.
How did you originally get connected?
So it was through a Facebook message from her musical director, her former MD. He hit me up on Facebook and was like, "Hey, my artist really loves your work. Are you around?" Again, it's like very cryptic, right? And I, at the time, I'm from Nebraska originally, so I was living in New York, and you know, I'm just kind of wasn't really hip to how the entertainment industry works, like what an NDA is, all these like basic things.
Ooh, before you go on, I do want to know, is this post like viral blow up or pre-viral blow up?
This was pre.
Okay.
So again, like people weren't, you know, I'm a classical player. So I was like playing in symphonies and orchestras and stuff like that. And I basically was like, "I don't know what this is about. This is weird. It's like a Facebook message. I think I'm gonna have to turn it down." And he like calls me and he's like, "Ezima, Google my name." I Google his name and I'm like, "Oh snap. This is like, he produced these things. He's done all these things with her." And then I was like, is it her? And he's like, "No, it's Jennifer Hudson." I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Are you this like gullible?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
what? I guess I am." I just couldn't believe it. And then, we had our first rehearsal. This was at the end. This was for a title at Barclays. Mm-hmm. They do that show every year. I don't know if they still do it, but she did one song from Lemonade, and she wanted a string section. So that was my first time. And at the time, it was an all-female band, a lot of women of color, and I just, you know, you walk in the room and you just see these women, you're like, "Oh, wow, I can't believe I'm here." And then just from there, it just kept more and more and more and more and more. So it was great.
That's so cool. A Facebook message. That's
crazy. Facebook message.
I totally like would have thought it was spam. I would have been like, somebody's trying to kidnap me.
And also like today, I don't even check Facebook. Like I can't believe I actually checked it, you know?
We joke. I mean, it's not a joke. Like we say it all the time. Like the path is perfect.
Yeah,
you have to like, go through exactly like what you've been through in order to like get where you're going.
Yeah.
So coming from Nebraska's home, tell us a little bit about where it started, like getting into music. Like if I read correctly, like music wasn't the first thing you were going to go to school for.
No, yeah.
Like tell us how we started.
Yes, I'm from Nebraska. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. My dad's actually from the Caribbean. My mom is, you know, from the States. But they basically met in Nebraska because they're both professors at the university. So it's kind of like random place for us to settle, I guess. Growing up in Nebraska, I went to school on a farm, actually, and they had a violin program there, and I saw all these little kids with these violins, and I just begged my parents to play. I was 3 years old. I don't know what it was, but I was just really drawn to the instrument. And I started playing and was just naturally like really took to it, more so than the other kids. And I think my parents were surprised. I think my teachers were surprised. And I just played. I played very seriously. I practiced really seriously, and it was internally driven. It wasn't from my parents. It was just, I wanted to do this. So I played all throughout, elementary school, middle school, high school. I went to Interlochen, which is like a boarding school in Michigan for fine arts. I would do like programs in Italy and stuff. I was really dedicated. But when it came time to go to college, even though I had done all this stuff, I'm not sure what it was exactly, but for some reason I couldn't see myself being a professional. And I don't know if that was a lack of like visibility, seeing like violinist of color. I'm sure that was a big part of it. But I thought you could just be a music teacher, but I didn't want to do that. I just didn't really see a space for me as a professional musician. So I did my undergrad in biochemistry with an emphasis in pre-medicine, and I double majored in violin and minored in mathematics. And halfway through my
Girl.
It was a lot. Yeah. But halfway through my program, I had a violin mentor at the time who basically kind of confronted me and was like, what are you so afraid of? And that is a question that I find myself asking myself a lot, just why can't you just do this? Why not? And I realized I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of not making it. But the thing is like when you're that young, and to anyone listening, like, gosh, when you're in your 20s, when you're late teens, I think we feel like we have to have it all figured out. And no, you don't. Like, just try stuff, make mistakes. There's always room for a second, third, fourth career. Even in your 30s, 40s, we're so much younger than I think the pressure that we put on ourselves. Yeah. So I went to New York City and I got my master's in violin performance, classical violin performance. And, being in New York, that's really where I started to experiment. I started taking jazz violin lessons, started just going to clubs, like hopping on with like a random DJ just to play. And that's really where I started to find my own sound and my own voice. And my first gig in New York City was for Stevie Wonder. Stephanie Matthews, an amazing contractor, had hit me up and was like, hey, I've heard of you. A violinist dropped out. Can you be at Central Park in 30 minutes? I was living in Washington Heights at the time, so I just hopped on the 1 train, zipped on down, and did my first gig with him. And from there, just more things happened, more doors opened. I mean, Stephanie and I were still good friends today. She's still like actively contracting all over Los Angeles. And it is a pretty small community, and one that I think is really loving and very supportive, especially among like the Black violinists and like female violinists of color. But it was one of those things where I think, to your point, it's just the path just kept flowing in such an effortless way. Mm-hmm. It was clear that this is what I was supposed to do. And of course there were doubts. Of course there were moments of loneliness, ostracization, like because I was doing something so different, facing backlash amongst like purely classical players. Like, how could you do this to this composer? This is disrespectful. This is, blasphemous, all these things. But for some reason I just kept going. And, here I am today, I still feel like I'm figuring it out. It's just at a level now where I have so much clarity in terms of who I am, of what I want, what my values are. So that's kind of how I got here.
What do you think allowed you to overcome like all of that backlash, the doubt? Like what has kept you grounded to be like, keep going, stay the course?
Yeah, definitely faith for me is a big part of it. I think realizing that it's about me in the sense that I am the one who's like living and showing up, but also it's so much bigger than myself, right? Like, and when I look at history, I love history. Actually in Cowboy Carter, the one thing that kind of sucked about it is I don't get to see the show, but my dad was in the audience and this was for one of the London shows. And he saw, I think she had like on the screen, this violinist Chevalier, who his name is Joseph Boulogne. I think I'm saying that correctly, but he was a violinist, a French violinist. He was born to an enslaved woman. This was, I don't know what year this was, like let's say 1700s. I'm not a historian, so you'll probably have to fact check this in terms of dates. But he was an incredible violinist, half Black. His dad was an enslaver, and he moved to France, and because he was just an incredible violinist and would just play. And they actually made a movie about him called Chevalier. And it's so cool because when I think about the people who've come before me and the people who have overcome just as much, if not more, it really strengthens me. And I would come up from the prop lift for the stage, and every time I'd be down there and I would just A, pray, and then B, I would just think about the history of what I'm doing and the legacy of what I'm doing. And then I would come up and I would see like all these people and I would just be filled with gratitude. And I think that's kind of what keeps me going, is realizing it's, yes, I'm the one doing it, but it's more than me. I'm a part of something a lot bigger. So that's how I think about it.
It's such an inspiration to see you take this classical component, and I love the term genre bending. It's like I have a 6th grader. He's 11. Oh. He's required to take band. We're playing the sax.
Okay, great.
But it's so cool to be like, there are opportunities out there. Like,
oh yeah.
Look at what Ezzy's doing. Like, look how different this is. Like, you can tour the world, travel the world, live your big dreams, do your big one. Like, you don't have to play in a symphony or be a music teacher.
Yeah.
Like, to show them this whole huge world of possibilities.
Yeah, there's so much out there. Actually, when we were on tour, the band, we stopped by this high school in DC just to like hear them and kind of talk to them and tell them about our careers. And I mean, I think like, talking to kids, it's so amazing because, to your point, I think so much of it is just, we don't know. And as a child myself, I didn't know what was possible. But, we got so many messages from these kids. Like, thank you so much. Like, it was so cool to hear you play. And like, it's, who knows what will happen. It's not about them becoming musicians. It's about just possibility in general, right? Whether if it's music or science or being an entrepreneur or a publicist, right? Like, it's just, I really believe anything is possible. And sometimes I wonder if I'm a little delusional.
Delusional is a compliment. We talk about this all the time. Like, I think people have shaped the word delusional as this like negative trait, but like, you have to be delusional sometimes, like that it's possible. Yeah. That if I want to do this, I can do this. Like, delusion is such a gift. If you've got it, you've got it. And so delusion's a beautiful thing.
I receive it. I receive it. Delulu me.
Delulu me. We can all be in a little Delulu club. That's our new t-shirt. Little Delulu me. Delulu club. But it's great.
My husband was recently like, "You're delusional." And I was like, "I know."
like, thank you.
That's the best thing about me. Like, why wouldn't I just call Beyonce up?
Right.
Just call Taylor up.
Right.
Just call Beyonce
What's
up.
up, B?
Hey.
We love that. Now, we keep, of course, talking about legacy, which is obviously a big part of like why we're here. We obviously believe in how you can use your influence, your moment of notoriety, whatever it is, to create impact, to create legacy. What is the impact or legacy that you hope to leave behind? Like, what do you wish that generations to come after you can say about Ezzy?
That's a really great question. I think several things. One, I think about this a lot. I don't know if it's like an Oprah or like Maya Angelou or just some remarkable Black woman said this, but it's something along the lines of this. People don't remember what you say or what you do, but they remember how you've made them feel. And that's something that I think about a lot. And what I like about that is it implies intimacy, right? It implies that like there's this closeness to the people and there's proximity, right? And that's a part of legacy. So I think about that, but then I like to sometimes expand it in terms of, let's take it back to Cowboy Carter, right? 75,000 people. I hope I made someone cry. I hope I made someone have chills. I hope I made someone realize maybe they can rethink something they've been struggling with. I think those can be forms of legacy. I mean, of course there's awards, of course there's albums, of course there's like what history could say or will say. But I also think that, I don't know, maybe that's a little too small. Maybe I need to expand that for myself. But that is something I think about almost daily, is how do I make people feel? And even to another form of that is, when like you let a friend stay in your place and then you come back and it's like better than how you had it. Like, I think about that a lot. Like, I want to be the person that makes every room brighter and better than before I walked in.
Oh, I can tell you that you've done that in this room. You actually just gave me chills right before you said, gave somebody chills. So I need you to know that, like, y'all aren't sitting in this room with her, but to know like the energy and the positivity that is like flowing through this room, it's electric. And we're so grateful that we get to share space with you, and we don't take that for granted. And that's with anyone. Like, to be able to share even a conversation is a very intimate thing to do. And granted, yes, the world will hear, but it's intimate to be able to do this and to be able to be also vulnerable and authentic enough to say the things that you say and talk about what legacy means to you. I don't think that there is a particular prescription to what legacy is supposed to look like for every person. I think it's different, like what's important to you. And I don't know, it's not just people, I think always assume that legacy always has like a financial component. I think it could. Yeah. But I think the legacy that you want to leave is completely and utterly about you. And like even like your roots. I wanted to ask you too about like your musical influences, like having like these Caribbean roots. Yeah. Like how is that does that impact your perception on legacy? Does that impact your desire to be different when it comes to the classical music space? Like how much do your roots impact the rest of these things that you're projecting into the world?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I've actually not really thought about it in that way, which is, it's cool when someone asks you a question you haven't really answered yet. I think the first word that comes into my mind is joy. Like anybody. So my dad's from Guyana, which is in South America. Mm-hmm. And even though it's in South America, because of colonialism, it's like very culturally Caribbean. So it's like it's West Indian, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing about West Indian culture is joy. Oof. Joy, joy, joy. You listen to the music, it can be a sad song, but it's like happy sounding, mm-hmm. right? And I think there's just something about, of course there's sadness, of course there's trauma and like wounds and a lot of that. But I think something that I have always brought to music is joy. And I don't think that's always true for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And that's okay because I also love sad music. I love, I think of someone like Nina Simone or like Billie Holiday. Some of those songs are so, like your heart is just aching. But I think for myself, one cultural thing that I've definitely feel that I bring to classical music and to my instrument is just joy.
Joy. And on that note,
two small little things from me. So you've traveled the world, you've been on the Cowboy Carter tour, you've performed with incredible people. Like what's your next like big goal?
I think, everything that I'm doing is really my dream life. Like I'm living my dream life. For me, it's just doing it bigger and better every time. So I finished my album. It's a classical album, which is cool. So it was like for full orchestra and me. So releasing that, and then I don't know, might be kind of cool to tour again with another artist, but I would also love to do my own tour for like concert halls and like performing arts venues. That would be amazing. And then another component of my life is I do film scoring. So writing music for film and TV. So right now I've been working on a show for Netflix. I've been writing additional music for the show. I don't know if I should say it yet. I probably can't say it yet.
You can tell us later, and
I'll tell you later.
We'll push it.
Yeah,
and we can release it.
But it's like one of their biggest shows, which is cool. And then that sort of led to another thing. So yeah, really wanting to lean into my side as a composer because I think that would be a part of my dream as well, is to like write an opera or a ballet, to do stuff like that. So.
We are gonna have to introduce her to Krista.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know Krista, but yes.
But you'll know soon. And I just love that you say, I get so excited. I can't even like contain. I'll calm down. I'm just so like, there's just so many beautiful things that I feel like you're just like running. And I just want to like push and like keep going. Like, how can you do all these things? This is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
Like I'm just so happy.
I'm happy.
That's great, Alex. I'm happy
too. You brought so much joy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, then I'm going to ask you a question we ask everybody, but I do want to ask you another little question. Is what did it feel like being a part of the score? Because wasn't it the score for Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, I helped out with the soundtrack.
That is incredible.
That's Alex's favorite movie.
It's my favorite movie.
Amazing.
And my 5-year-old, we watched it like in 2 weeks, like 1 and 2, like 3 times, like each week. Like I love it to the point like my car was like all black window, black like rims and everything. Like my tent was so dark that I couldn't see at night.
Yeah.
It was stupid, like so irresponsible.
What was her name?
It was T'Challa. And like my daughter didn't know what kind of car I drove. She just knows, she's like, well, are we really gonna get rid of T'Challa? Like T'Challa, like I just love that game.
It's a great movie.
It's
a great movie.
People don't even understand it. It's outstanding.
Yeah. definitely going to be studied in like by the film students for a long time.
As it should. Well, if there is anything that our community, our listeners, our people, anyone in our orbit under the sound of our voices can do to move your needle forward, what could that be?
One thing that I haven't really talked about yet is I have a nonprofit called Strings by Heart. And like I mentioned, when we were on tour, we visited some schools and stuff like that. But it's really just about working with kids, working with youth, and just exposing kids to these instruments. I like to sort of go into the neighborhoods and schools that might not have music programs, because I know fortunately after COVID, like so many things were cut, and it's really sad. And I think music is just so important for kids. So that's something that I always like to highlight, Strings by Heart. You can just go to my website and check it out there.
Well, we'll make sure we have all the links to that in our show notes.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your incredible abilities and light with the world.
Oh, thank you both.